Now, most of us are not in such an environment where we hear Sanskrit being spoken and used for our transactions. Therefore, a grammar is the best way of learning a language. It not only explains the structure of the language, but it makes us familiar with a large sets of words which would take a long time otherwise to learn. So the Vyakarana or the grammar opens up the structure of the language for beginners and new learners to master the language. When we learn the rules of grammar and the structure of the language, obviously we learn Sanskrit language. We go deeper into the structure and it enables us to understand large groups of words at one shot. When we know the logic or the simple rule behind the structure and the meaning of certain types of words, we understand many of them by learning a few as examples in the grammar lesson. The other purpose of this course is to appreciate the scientific manner in which Sanskrit Vyakarana, that is Sanskrit grammar, has proceeded. Therefore, we look at the science of language. A scientific thinking or the scientific manner in which we understand things is full of observation. We look at the facts and the reality around us and we understand the rules behind it, the reasons why it is so. Now, when we look at the various activities in our environment, when we look at Vyakarana as the science of language, what do we mean? What do we mean by science? When we look at the scale of the universe, from the microscopic universe to the macroscopic, we have this table here where we look at the microcosm that goes smaller and smaller from our size, the human size, if we keep it somewhere in the middle. When we go into the smaller dimensions and the sizes, we look at the cell and the atom and the particle, and we go on. In modern physics, we know how we go into 10 power minus 10, 10 power minus 9 meter, etc. Such kind of measurements. On the macroscopic scale, as we move upward, we realize that the universe is very vast and our size is almost insignificant. When we look at the Earth and we look at the solar system, we look at the Milky Way and the visible universe, we do not know where the end of this physical universe is. When we look at the point of view of science, the linguistics is the science of language, and linguistics are scientists. Linguists are scientists who apply the scientific method to questions about the nature and function of language. When we look at language, language is the vehicle of thought. It is the window into the mind. It is the way we communicate. And when we go into language, the basic unit of language is the sentence, as the next slide shows, and sentences are formed with nouns and verbs.